first up, we will have Danielle Fisher from Maywood. She's going to do some yoga for us. And then we will have Amy, our presenter. She's going to go on at 10. I know she did ask if you could have like a pen and paper on hand for that portion of it later, but you'll have a little bit of time to get that if you need that. Yeah, so welcome. I'm Caitlin. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Youth Services Committee. Don't forget to do your survey at the end. So you can tell us how you liked today. And I'm gonna pass it off to Danielle so we can get into yoga.
Good morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, I just sounded like a kindergarten teacher. You guys can pin me if you want me to be the biggest video that you see. Yeah, I pinned myself. I think that should be enough. But welcome, everybody. I am Danielle. I am the Youth Services Librarian at Maywood Public Library, and I've been a kids yoga instructor for maybe like 5 years now, or 6 years. Some of you may know me as Bendy Bookworm. I do a lot of programs in our libraries and in the school systems. And I teach yoga for everyone. So I have all different types of yoga on my programming. All right, so to get started, I'm gonna do it in the chair. But you guys over there on your yoga mats made me like reevaluate the whole class really quickly on my phone. So I'm going to try to make it so that everyone, can benefit from this. So we can start off our mental health YSC boot camp. Great. Okay. So sitting in your chair, and I might have to shift the camera a couple times. So just bear with me because I'm, at the library today. So sit nice and tall in your chair, or if you're on the ground, just kind of, fidget a little bit so that you can get your spine nice and straight. And you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you're more comfortable with. I know some spaces you might feel a little uncomfortable closing your eyes if you're like at your desk in the children's room. So do whatever feels right for you, and just kind of shake out the hands a little bit. So give them a little shake, and then allow your hands to fall onto your lap or onto your knees if you're sitting on the floor. They can either be palms up or palms down, whatever your hands just kind of naturally did. Allow that to be where they stay kind of thing. Palms facing up usually brings in a little bit more energy if you're feeling sluggish today. Palms down usually grounds your energy if you're feeling a little anxious, or maybe you drank your coffee a little bit too fast. So you can kind of go from there. Roll the shoulder blades back a couple times. Keep your chin parallel to your lap. And now imagine that there's a string coming from the crown of your head and kind of lifting you up. So you don't want to slump in the seated position. You want to be nice and active with a straight spine. And take a deep breath in through your nose, and then let that go. Deep breath in through the nose, and let that go. Just take one more deep inhale through the nose, and let that go. And now if your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and open them again. Stopping at any point throughout your day to just take some 3 deep breaths can really help you to like refocus. If you had an issue with a patron or a coworker and you need a minute, just stopping and taking 3 conscious breaths can really kind of calm the situation and recenter you again. So it doesn't have to be a long break of breathing. It could just be 3 breaths. All right, now reaching your arms all the way around and up. Now, I know it's early, so your hands don't have to meet. They can just be far apart. Just roll your shoulder blades back, and then exhale, bring those hands back down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up because we do so much in our shoulders on our keyboards all day. And then exhale, lower them down. And one more time, inhale, reach all the way up. And this time, bring them down parallel to the ground. So not all the way down, just parallel. And bring your fingertips into your shoulders. Good. Now open it up and bring them back in. All right, we're going to take 3 arm circles going forward. So lift the elbows up, bring them together, try to get them to touch or as close as you can, and then all the way down. Lift up into touch, and one more time, lift up into touch, and then reverse that direction. So out, down, in, up, and down, and one more time. Beautiful. And you probably heard a whole bunch of cracking in your shoulder when you did that. All right, now taking your right palm, this is for releasing the neck muscles. So it's one of those things that you might hear in physical therapy, yoga, gymnastics, where you're actually using the muscle, you're activating the muscle to release the muscle. So this is going to release all of the neck stuff that we have from staring down at our phones or our keyboards or screens. Okay, so right palm to the temple of the right side. Now I'm probably mirroring, so it's going to look like it's my left side, but this is my right hand, right temple. And you're going to push the palm into the side of the head, push the head into the palm for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it a little bit. We're going to do that one more time. So push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release that hand, taking the left palm to the left side, push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let that go. And last time, push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now lace your fingers, push the palms out towards me and try to straighten the arms here. Good. Reach the arms all the way up, trying to keep them attached this time. And then bring that motion to the back of the head. So you have those lace fingers still, and same motion. So hands to head, head to hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that go. And one more time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last neck contraction. You're going to bring that lace fingers to your forehead. And this is the last set. So push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Push for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let that go. Readjust. Make sure that you're still rolling your shoulders back, that didn't tense up your shoulders, because that might have happened as well. People that are sitting on the floor, if you guys need to switch your position so that you're in Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet together, if you're getting a little antsy sitting on your bottoms this long, go ahead and do that. All right, now one of my favorite neck stretches, which I do all the time because we're always staring at our computers, you're going to bring your right ear down to your right shoulder, and then bring it back to neutral. Right ear, right shoulder, neutral, right ear, right shoulder. Take that left hand out to the side. Let me shift so you guys can see. And then just open and close that hand as you're bringing your right ear down to your right shoulder. So you should feel it all along that left side. Beautiful. And release. I'm going to let, this isn't okay. Left ear, left shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. And left ear, left shoulder. Now bring that right hand out and just open and release. And it kind of, you can play with it. Maybe get more of a stretch higher up, maybe get more of a stretch lower down, whatever feels good to you. All right, let that go. Bring your neck to neutral. Now just tuck your chin into your chest. And now open it up with that chin all the way up, stretching out the front of the neck, which we never do because we're always doing this, looking down. Bring your chin back to your chest. And one more time, lift that chin all the way up. Beautiful. Now, for those of you on the floor, you can come into your tabletop position. So hands are on the floor, wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. For the rest of us, we could just stay seated. And we are going, if you're in a chair, we're going to bring our hands onto our knees, whereas the people on the floor have their hands on the floor. And you're going to pull your chest through, take an inhale, lift the chin up, moving the belly button forward. So if you're on the ground, you're bringing that belly button down to the ground, lifting the chin up. And then exhale, curl, all of us curl. Bring your chin to your chest and look at your navel. Take an inhale, open it up, arch the back. And then exhale, chin to just curl the back. Beautiful. Coming back to that neutral position. If you are on the floor, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, come into your down dog. If you're in a chair and you have the space, get up from your chair and stand behind it. But I'm going to turn it this way if you guys can see better. Good. All right. Now, bring your hands so that they're about arm's distance away from the chair. And you might want to take another step back And then we are just going to lower our chest in between our arms for a down dog in the chair. Now, if you're on the mat, you can go ahead and pedal out your feet, bending and straightening each leg. If you're in the chair, just lower the chest down. Beautiful. Take one more inhale here and exhale, let it go. Now, if you are on the mat, go ahead and walk your feet forward, come into a regular stand. If you are in the chair, go ahead and just walk closer to the chair. All right, now this is going to be a tricky one. I'm going to try to do this with my camera, but I don't know how successful I'm going to be. So I'm going to point it down so you guys can see my legs. Okay. Now, if you're standing, bring your right, like on the mat, bring your right foot forward. Step your right foot forward. Actually, same with us in the chair. So everyone hold your chair. Right foot is forward. Both of your toes are in the direction of the top of the mat or towards your chair. You can step your back foot back a little tiny bit more, but you don't want to be too far apart, right? So it's like maybe like a foot, 2 feet tops. Good. And now keeping that front leg straight, you are just going to move your hands down your chair and move your chin down towards that standing leg. Now, if you are standing, you can bring your, like on the mat, you can bring your hands to your hips. Actually, you can even do that in the chair if you don't even want to use the chair. You can just bring your hands to your hips. But you want to do a little bit of a micro bend in that front knee so that you're not hyperextending the back. Beautiful. Now, standing on the mat, this one might be a little challenging, but if you're in the chair, grab the chair because you're going to need it to help you with this. Can you guys see? Yeah, there you go. Lift that right foot up towards the ceiling to get into the back of the leg. Good. And lower that foot down, and we're going to switch sides. Whew. Okay. So left foot steps forward. Sorry, but I know the angle's like really odd here. I'm trying to like get you guys to, okay. But you guys get the gist of it. So both feet are towards the top of the mat or the chair. You can use the chair for stability as you lower down. Once you feel like you don't really need the chair, go ahead and bring the hands to the hips if you like. Little micro bend in that front knee, keeping both toes facing the top of the mat, and the hips are moving in that direction too. So take a couple breaths here. And now bring yourself up, grab the chair if you need to for support, and lift your left toes up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Now step it all back in. I have one more exercise for you before we close out. So if you are on the mat, go ahead and bring yourself back down on your booty. If you're in your chair, bring yourself back to your chair. Okay. It's going to be a funny ankle too. Now, if you're on the floor, legs out in front of you. Actually, all of us in the chair, we can do this too. Bring your legs out in front of you. And now what you're going to do is take your right ankle and bring it onto your left knee. You can use your hands. All right, now if we are on the chair, you can go ahead and lower that left foot down to the floor. And if you are on the mat, you can go ahead and slide the sole of the left foot onto the mat. So you can bring your hands back behind you and you're in this like reclined pigeon. Now, if we're in the chair, you're gonna take your right hand and just gently push down on that right knee. You won't have to do that if you're on your mat because moving the left foot in is enough to do that anyway on its own. But sometimes in the chair, you need that little extra oomph to get into that outer hip. Now, if you don't need the oomph, don't, just work on opening up that right leg. Beautiful, and release the right. Now, all of us bring our legs straight out in front of us again, lift if you guys can see. And then bring your left ankle to your right knee. Lower your right sole of the foot back to the mat. And if you're on the ground, yeah, you guys can even do a recline. That's awesome. Good. That's probably easier than how I was explaining it. It's hard to explain it to the mat people when I'm sitting in a chair. But you can take your left hand and bring it to that left knee just to open up the left knee a little bit. Beautiful. And now release that left foot. Coming back to sit neutral, sitting on your booty, or the people on the mat, you guys can just stretch your legs out in front of you and take your last couple breaths on your back if you want. That's fine. And now us in the chair again, do a little shake in the wrists. You guys on the mats can do any kind of final movement that you want. If you want to do some twists there, that's fine. And then we bring our hands back down onto our knees, palms facing up or down, whichever one feels good. And maybe this time, if you didn't in the beginning, but you want to try it this time, go ahead and close your eyes. And just taking 3 breaths here. So deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, release the shoulders, let the breath out. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, let the breath go. And one more time, in through the nose. Exhale, let the breath go. Blink your eyes open. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. That's that prayer position in front of the heart that you always see the yogis doing. Put your hands together, thumb knuckles into your heart center, and take a moment to feel gratitude for your body, for already moving at 9:45, and for showing up at this meeting. Light within me, bows the divine light in each one of you. Thank you so much for allowing me 15 minutes to start this off. Namaste, you guys. And now if any of you have any, want any kind of little poses that you can do in your chair at work, because that helped and that felt really good, just shoot me an email and I can give you guys couple more ideas. All right, thank you guys. And back to Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. That felt so good. I did not sleep well, but I feel way better than I did after I drank some coffee this morning. So I did see our speaker, Amy Morgan, came in. And let's see if she is ready.
I am ready. I hear you.
All right, awesome. So would you like to introduce yourself? Do you want to take over the reins here?
No, you could go ahead and then I'll hop in.
Amy Morgan has graciously agreed to speak for us today. She is a coach and she is going to give us a mental health break today. So, things have kind of been tough the past almost 2 years. So I know I needed a break. So I'm really looking forward to what we can learn today.
Great. Thank you. So yes, hi, everyone. I am Amy Morgan. I am a transformational life and health coach. So I'm here today first to repeat, I just heard what Danielle said, for showing up. This is so important to move your body, to clear your mind. Life has been crazy for everybody. And just taking those times to know what you need to be able to want more for yourselves in all situations, to drop fear and to really stand in your power. And that's what I do. And so just honor the fact that you've showed up here this morning to work on all those things. So that's huge and a huge accomplishment. So I love that I'm actually coming in after you just moved your body. It's perfect segue for us. We're going to do a few different things this morning, and where I thought we would start was some tapping. So the reason we do tapping is to take ourselves from that stressed mode, which we never want to be in. It's bad for our nervous system. It's bad for your sleeping. It's bad for every single thing. Take from that stress level into a calmer level. And like Caitlin said, this year has been trying on everyone, with work, with families, with living from home, working from home. Just, it's been, we can all agree, pretty much a nightmare. So we're going to start with tapping. And I thought we would tap on releasing patterns from our past so that we get to create new ones. Feel free to change the words if that doesn't serve you. I'm here just to guide you, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do, but you should see some immediate results on your stress levels. And this is something you can always come back to. So if we can all just take a deep breath for a minute, just so we can ground ourselves, and we put our right hand, you can see me, on my heart, and our left hand on our belly. And we're just going to breathe in and out, and breathe in and out. And breathe in and out. Okay, so where I would like everybody to start really is to sort of put a number 1 to 10 on what is the biggest stress in your life. And I'm picking releasing old negative patterns, which I do think would serve everybody, because to change and to get new desires and to get new things, we all have to let go of the past, let go of old patterns, let go of things that don't serve us now. And if anything this couple of years has taught us is that we have to just be able to go with it and change and adapt. So if that works for you, great. If you have something else that's pressing, please feel free, like I said, to use that. So in your mind, I would like you to come up with 0 to 10. How stressed are you? 10 being the highest. Okay. I'm going to show you quickly where we're going to go, and then I'm going to do it throughout so you can see me. So the first tapping point is like the karate chop. You're going to lift either hand. It doesn't matter. And you're going to chop with the other hand, and that's your first meridian point. And then we're going to go above the eyes, right above the eyebrows. And then we're going to go under your eyes. Then to your under your nose, almost in that bridge. To your chin. To your collarbone. And then to under your arm, almost like where the bra is hitting, you know, the side over there. And then to this crown of your head. And that goes in a pattern. So it goes back to the karate chop. If you lose the pattern, I'm going to be doing it. If you do it out of order, there's no wrong way to do this. You've got this. I'm going to say some words. Feel free. Most of you are muted. I think everyone is muted. Say them out loud if you're comfortable, repeating them to yourself. So again, I hope everyone has their number 1 to 10. And we're just going to start. So even though I have some funky patterns in my past, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have negative patterns from my past, I deeply love and accept myself. I have some funky patterns in my past. And they're keeping me stuck. They're keeping me stuck in places I don't want to be. I feel stuck. These patterns from my past are keeping me in the exact same spot. That makes me emotional. It's holding me back. These patterns that I keep repeating are holding me back. And I feel stuck. And I'm a little mad about it. I see how I recreate these patterns for myself. And I keep doing it. And that makes me mad. It makes me really mad. Sorry, my dog wants to join. It makes me really mad that I keep recreating the patterns for myself. But I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm mad about the patterns from my past that I keep repeating. I'm frustrated. Sorry, guys. I'm frustrated. How can I clear these patterns? I really want, every time I talk, I really want to clear these patterns. I really want to clear these patterns. It's okay that I feel frustrated. It's okay that I repeat these patterns. I deeply love and completely accept myself. I just want you to keep going, but I just want you to notice where you are. And if your nervous system is calmed down a little, and take a breath, and we're just keep moving because it's proven science that this works. And just take some deep breaths and just notice what you feel, notice your body, and I'm going to keep going. Okay, I have some patterns from my past. They are just patterns. I know I can change patterns. I know this because I've already changed some patterns. I have so much support. I have support from my family. I have support from my friends. I have support from this community. I know and I have faith that everything I desire will come to me. I ask the universe and it is given. I know my willingness to change these patterns are enough. I know I'm enough. I'm already ahead of the game because I'm making changes. In this moment, I am changing. In this moment, I am changing. I am doing it right. I am changing my patterns. Here's a perfect example. Tapping is something new and I'm changing my patterns. I feel some relief knowing I'm doing something about it. I'm helping myself. I am finding relief. I am finding relief. I am changing the patterns of my past and all that that means. And I feel a really good connection to my energy and I know my feelings. And I am changing patterns of my past. Everything can change. Everything can change pretty quickly if I choose it to. I can change. I have the power to change. I have the power to change. I'm doing it right now. I deeply love and appreciate myself. I deeply love and appreciate myself. Now I want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to close your eyes and notice where you are now. Notice how we took ourselves from frustration and stress to the idea that we are in control, to the idea that we get to have anything that we want. We get to be anyone we want, all of it. It's okay to be frustrated, have rough times, have patterns that we want to break, but we have tools to change them. So I want you to hold that vision of how you want to feel, free from those patterns in the past that you're trying to break, and get a picture of what it is that you want. We're going to talk more about that shortly, about what it is that you want in all areas of your life. but I want you now just to try to visualize it somewhat. What would it feel like to be different, to feel different, to have different circumstances, to literally do the opposite of whatever it is that you're doing that you want to change? And I want you to honor those changes. Respect your ability to change, to know you can change, and feel into that energy that you get to have in all areas of your life: satisfaction, happiness, peacefulness, calmness, even in a chaotic world. And that you can take that time for yourself to do that. So take a few more breaths, and I hope the goal there was to bring you down. So if you were at a 9 or a 10 in stress, that you are now closer to a 5 or a 6. I know I am. I know that you can probably still feel the points, all the meridian points, and that's a good thing, because that changes the energy. And life is all about energy, vibration, and that is what the universe is responding to. So now we're going to go into what I thought would be a great exercise for everybody. After you can sort of let things go and visualize what it is that you want, if everyone could just take out a piece of paper and a pen, actually 2 pieces of paper would be fantastic. And I'll give you a minute. Okay, so hopefully you have that. And this is called a big vision 5. And the big vision 5 is all about what it is that we want. So what are your goals? What are your desires? Where do you want to be in your career? Where do you want to be in your health, money, love, and that which is greater? Now, that which is greater can be anything to you. So it could be your religion, it could be the universe, it could be your connection to something other than, here. And there's, again, no wrong answers. So on the first piece of paper, I would like you to start. We're going to start with, I think health would be a great place to start, since this is a health day. So I would like you to jot down whatever in the next minute comes to you that you want in your health. So health is very big. It could be to lose your anxiousness. It could be to lose weight. It could be to be calmer in life. It could be to run a marathon. It could be anything. I would write down as many things that you can think of offhand. And this is goals for yourself, really. And I want you to really tune into the future you of who you visualized in that tapping session. Who is it that you want to be in health? What do you see yourself looking like, feeling like in your health? Do you have more energy? Okay, so now you should have at least, 5 things, I would say. And on the other piece of paper, I would love you to put a big circle in the middle and write, in the next 12 months, I am, and then put a line. And off to the side, put another circle of health. And pick your top 3 things that you jotted down from your other piece of paper. What are the top 3 things in health that you want? Great. You're doing great. Okay, now we're going to go back to the first piece of paper where we're going to jot down, and we're going to go into career. I know everybody here has probably had the most challenging year of their life doing your job from home. But what is it that you want? So you probably took that moment to reevaluate. How do you want it to look like? Because you're honoring yourself to know that it doesn't have to look like you thought it would look like. It's all okay. So if you write down 5 things or so that you might, and these could be even nothing to do with your library, just where you want to go. Maybe you want to write a book, a children's book, adult book, any book. That would be in your career. That would be going out of the box. That would be cool. That would be really cool to want something more for yourself. And that's sort of the goal. Who is this future you? What does she want? And who does she want to be? So after you have that, am I going too fast? After you have that, go back to the other piece of paper and write down your top 3 things for that you can pull from your scrap piece of paper. Allow whatever comes through for you here to be perfect and right. And honor yourself on that one. Because it all gets to look like whatever it is that you choose it to. And we often forget that. And the path we wanted before doesn't necessarily mean it's the path we want now. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to go to money. And money is a funny topic. So I'm just going to talk about it a little bit because people think money is inherently bad. They think it's bad to talk about. They think it is bad to think about. They think it makes them greedy if they want a lot of it. And none of that's true. So I want you to throw out any old past, repeating patterns that you have about money. Money is just an energy. It's literally just a piece of paper. That's all it actually is, if you think about it. Okay. My Luca's going to join us, I think. Oh, come here. So money is just an energy. It is literally a green piece of paper or a coin that you have in your wallet. That's all it is. It is the meaning behind you. I'm so sorry. It's give me 1 second. I'm going to catch him and he's going to join us. Maybe I'm not going to catch him. He's too fast for me. I want you to think in abundance with money because that's what it is. If you want, I'm going to get a treat. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. It's annoying for you guys. Look, come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, I'm sorry. Real life happens, right? And this is Luca. So hopefully some of you are dog people and you get it. Okay, so back to the money. I don't want you to think whatever your dreams are bad, that it is a bad thing to want to go on extravagant vacations and to drive a nice car and to do all sorts of fun things with your money, because that's what you're supposed to do with money. You're supposed to work hard, have it, spend it, and it's okay to want more and it's okay to want less, but think in abundance, because that's how you get more of everything that you want. So if you can put down on your piece of paper your top 3 money goals. And just remember, it is not bad. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with wanting a lot of money. Everything we do and everything we think is what we're getting back from the universe. That's what law of attraction is, and that's what it says we're doing. So we have to be very, very careful of how we think, and money stops a lot of people. So it sounds like it's simple, but it's probably pretty complicated, because we take our childhood stories, especially around money, when our parents would say things like, oh, we can't afford that, and things like that. So hopefully you wrote down 5 things, and on your other piece of paper, you can write your top 3 money goals. Where do you want to be in 12 months? Okay, now we're going to move to, we'll say that which is greater. So for me, it's the universe. I believe that we are co-creating life with something else. That doesn't have to be for you. You get to pick who it is that you're thinking of, and what you believe. But what would you like that connection to be? So for me, for example, I believe we are co-creating with the universe. Like I said, I believe that means I have to surrender my thoughts. I believe it means I have to release resistance. I believe it means I'm always supported. I'm always being guided. And that's my connection. I trust, I have faith. And many religions are the same thing. You're believing in something that you can't really see, but is there. So if you could put down your top 5 things of how you would like to improve your connection with whatever you believe of that which is greater. And then on that second piece of paper, write down your top 3. Where do you want to go with this? Okay. I just want to remind you to breathe, because sometimes when we're doing these exercises, we rush through them. Okay, so keep breathing. And now this last one is actually love, which sounds the simplest, and it's probably the most complicated for most people. I want you on that scrap piece of paper to really think about all your relationships. How are they going for you? Is your relationship with your parents, your children, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Are you getting what you need in all of those relationships? And it's okay to say, I love them so much, and I'm still not getting exactly what it is that I need and I want. So write down what it is that you need and want, and how would you like that to look like? Because again, the universe will bring you what you say, bring you that vibration. So if you say everything's fine and it's not with any, important person in your life, if you're frustrated with your sister or your husband, these things all get to change. They all get to be what it is we want. As soon as we know what it is that we want, we get to be able to change it. So I want you just to carefully think about what you're asking the universe for. What vibe are you putting out? What message are you sending to that other person? Do they know that you're not getting everything that you want? Because you should be satisfied in all your love relationships, and they don't have to be romantic loves. Because you can change it just like everything else. So if you could then put your top 3 on the big vision 5. And then I want you to take a step back and really look at what, sorry, Luca's trying to take over the screen. Fortunately, he's super cute. So, and I actually, today's his gotcha day. We got him exactly a year ago. So I think he knows it's a special day. I want you to look. I want you to look what you wrote. And if you could be so bold as to write in that middle circle that we made from the beginning, that says, in the next 12 months, I am, what is it? You are what? You are going to feel what? You are going to be what? You are going to have what? And on the side, you might even want to write your top 3 outcomes. And I want you to think about what's stopping you. You know, we had a lot of rules during COVID. And with work, you had a lot of rules, what you could do, what you couldn't do, where you could go, how you know, and we weren't used to that. And it sort of made everybody stop and think. And hopefully we're at, you know, a good point where we're having our new normal and we get to dream again. And it's really important to dream and visualize. So I hope this exercise really gives you sort of like a roadmap of what it is that you want in these 5 areas, because everything in life revolves around those 5 areas, right? If you don't have your health, you can't have your career. If you don't have your career, you don't have money. If you don't have some sort of faith, you can't really have love and trust. And those are pretty much the important things. Our health, our family, our friends. So I'm hoping that you can take a look at this sheet and revisit this sheet. Because right now, I actually think you should put it away for like a few days, maybe even a week, and sit with it. You know, just pull it out in a week and say, wow, like, are these the things I want? And maybe in the week you think about it and maybe some things change. Maybe you got some clarity when you realize you have to write down your goals, and really anything's possible, because anything is possible. And what you had, well, we'll tie it back to where we started, what you had in the past and the patterns you did in the past get to change. They are the ones that got you where you are right now. Everything you did in the past is evident in what you do right now. Everything you do right now tells you where your roadmap is to go. So you get to change anything. You get to change your morning routines. You get to change your eating habits. You get to change anything that it is that you choose. So if you put this away and you think about it and you come back to it then you can start breaking down even further of where do I want to go with this? What's my number one? Is it my health? Is it my career? What is it? And don't take it overwhelming. Take it one step at a time, one thing. If it's health and it's to lose weight, great. How are you going to do that? What is your plan? Because you need a plan for that. You need a plan for everything. And you have to just break it down so it doesn't become overwhelming, because anything's possible. And you'll be able to then track this even in a year and say, wow, that was my goal. I stood back, I took it slow, and look where I am. And if you do it this way, you're going to see tremendous growth in the areas that you think are important, that you choose to make important to you. And sometimes, especially during COVID in this trying time, a lot of people put their dreams and their desires on hold. We didn't know where life was going to go. We had so much on our minds. We forgot that we were supposed to even be doing this. We were stressed. We had sick people. The news was awful. And if I could off that, don't listen to the news. It's a terrible thing for your mind. Trust me, you will hear anything some other way that's important. I don't ever watch the news anymore. It's very stressful. It's very bad for you. You will know everything that goes on in the real world. I promise you, other ways, just by talking to people, just by tuning in. There's great ways to still find out without hearing that. But we were all doing it. We were all like tuned into CNN all day long, hearing how many people were getting sick. And it was just terrible. So we put all those needs on hold. And I want you to remember to put yourself first. Know what you need. Self-care is not selfish. It's important, and it's important to have these desires and these goals. So I'm sorry about Luca moving around. You're probably all used to like ADD kids who won't stop moving. I think this dog might have a little of that. So I would love to know if there's any questions for me. I'll happily, you can unmute yourself, ask. I'll happily answer anything about anything, the life coaching, that what I do and how I help people, because everybody needs a therapist or a life coach, and we forget about ourselves sometimes. Is there anybody who has anything? I'm just going to scroll through. I don't know if there's a chat here. Oh, there is. I don't see anything.
So the question I would ask is, like, what's your top tip, like, to reaching the goals that we set today?
My top tip, it's a great question. My top tip would be to slow down. Everybody thinks you have to speed up and be, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but be strong in what it is that they want. And I really, really believe that when you slow it down and when you step it back and you make baby steps, because if you're picturing a ladder and you're at the bottom of the ladder and then you want to get to the top, there's no way, unless you have like invented a machine, that you're going to be able to jump from the bottom of the ladder to the top and stay there. So to me, small baby steps, slowing down, changing habits slowly is the most effective way to get where you want to go. Everybody says, oh, you have to be rough and tough, and you don't. You get to gently do everything. And that also puts you into the receiving mode where you don't have to do everything by yourself. That's what I meant by co-creating. There are things that are your job and there are things that are not your job. And it's the wise person that knows the difference of what you can control, what you can't control, and how to get there. And I really believe that if you slow it down and you take those baby steps, you're so much better off. Your habits are going to change. Your habits are going to stick. And you're going to be so much further along than that person who has all the energy in the world and is so psyched and is sure that they're going to get there first. It's not a race. Life is not a race. So that would be my number one tip. Slow it down, be clear on what you is that you want. And also, I guess, be willing to change that, because as you do it slowly, things will shift. So that would be my number one. I think that's a great question, Caitlin. I hope I answered it. Oh my God, Luca. He really wants to be in this. I hope you all think he's as cute as I do. He was a pandemic dog, as a lot of people got. My kids talked me into him, and he's given a lot of love to this house and a lot of work for me, and it's been great. And that was really all I really had for you today. And the reason I didn't plan more is I don't like to overwhelm people. Like I said, I think small baby steps is actually more productive than just saying I'm going to be like the president of the United States in a year. And that's not realistic. It's, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it slow, and I'm going to get there, and I'm going to be very thorough in my actions. And again, know what is my business to worry about, and know what isn't, because the universe will provide. And that's where your connection with that which is greater comes in. Is there anyone else who had any questions? No? Did the tapping, I would love to hear, like, even if you could raise your hand, did you find the tapping bring down the stress? Yeah, Caitlin saying yes. A lot of people's cameras are off, so.
I think I saw some like thumbs up in the.
Oh, Gina, I see. Yeah, great. Great. Oh, I see some other thumbs up, Rebecca. Awesome. Good, Joanna. Great. So those are tools that I can even, I can send them out. I can send it to you, Caitlin. I can just remind you of what the meridian points are, and the words. So the words really don't matter on that, but we start with our stress level. We start with, even though this is what's going on. And we always end with, I deeply love and accept myself, or something in those sort of how much we value ourselves. Because those are tools you can use. Yesterday, I'll give an example. I was fighting with my 15-year-old, and I was sitting in his room, and he's yelling at me, and he goes, "Mom, you're so weird." I said, "Yeah, but I'm calm, not yelling back." So we're sure that's something he was yelling of nothing that had to do with me. I knew that it was school and football and 15-year-old boy stuff. And it just keeps me calm in the moment to not react, because there was no reaction to a 15-year-old who was upset. It was just to listen, not to take it personally. And I used it. And you know what? If someone thinks you're weird, you're going to be calm.
I didn't want to like dominate the conversation, but I like along those lines, I had another question. Like, sometimes especially right now, the stress level is kind of heightened, but like if we're having a not necessarily positive interaction with anyone, I guess, but particularly in a library setting, like a patron, besides doing like the meridian things, which might not,
right, they might do sure.
In a public setting, what advice would you give for like lowering the stress level? That kind of
100%, it's breathing. It's the simplest and quickest way to calm your nervous system. Just you start as low as you can in your belly. Try to see if you can, like down here, almost as far down to your pubic bone as you can. and literally try to breathe it up through the top. And you're literally releasing your stress, you're changing your cortisol levels. And when a patron is getting upset with you, you're not talking anyway, because fighting with them, right, doesn't serve anybody. I'm sure most of you probably know that, you know, and aren't looking to have an argument. So listen to them and just, they won't see how deep you're breathing, and just keep breathing. So then when you respond to them, your response is appropriate and calm. And I hear what you're saying, you know, often just repeating what they said. I hear what you're saying. I get it. And even if you have to stick to your guns and this is the rules, this is those are boundaries. So those are great things to just say, I hear you. So you're acknowledging them, you're breathing, and you're slowing everything down so that you actually can hear them. And then the answer, and the answer is the answer, and never feel bad about the answer. If the answer is no, and you just can't do it for that person, the answer is no, that's okay. And if the answer is yes, you can help this person, and maybe you just didn't understand what they were asking, or they weren't asking it the way that you thought it should be asked. Now you're calmer, you're breathing, and you could say, oh, thank you, I didn't hear you that way. Let me show you how I can help. And it's just breathing. It's keeping your nervous system very, very calm, and just deep, slow breaths. And if you never want to be in the response mode. So that's when the wrong thing comes out of our mouths. So it's hearing what they said, breathing, taking that extra moment to just digest it and know how it is you want to present yourself in the next words. So slowing down, it's really the key to everything. We think we have to speed up, and we don't.
Thank you. Rebecca in the chat had asked any tips for bringing these tactics to the kids in the library. So during program, during our interactions, things like that, I guess.
Sure. So I think in school they've been doing a good job. I don't want to say a great job, but a good job in teaching them the breathing. And I wish I could do it with my dog. I'm so sorry. I know they do in some schools the meditation bowl with the sound, which would also, you might be able to do in the library. It's like you could go get like, it's almost like a metal bowl, and it rings, and the sound of it is super effective, especially with kids, to keep them calm. And again, even teaching them to breathe at the library, you know, kids are kids, right? I have 3 kids, and my kids, when they were little, my boys were those wild kids that nobody wanted in their class, in the library. They were loud and rambunctious. And it's just repetitiveness. If these are regular kids that are with you, you know, if you're doing story time, let's say we're going to just take a moment to deep breathe. We're going to slow it down here. And it's teaching these kids the tools at young ages, I think will serve them for the rest of their lives, because our generations didn't really do this in school. We didn't really learn this stuff, and we're totally at a disadvantage. And these kids, they're lucky. They're getting it at school. And if we can repeat those things at a library situation, or, you know, any other social place, they're winning. They're going to have these tools when life doesn't go perfectly as planned, and they're in work situations themselves. This will all serve them. So I hope, Rebecca, that helped you. Good. You raised your hand and did. Good. I'm glad. So that would be my, those are my, it's just to keep it slow. And if you're calm, they're calm, right? If you set the tone of your voice, you're calm. And if it's high school kids, like I know at our high school, the kids they walk there, it's near the high school, and they go there after school, and it's loud in there. I've been in there, and it could be frustrating. Teenagers don't do what you want to do, and they're not quiet. And again, it's not yelling at them, it's calmly showing them the way you treat them, they're going to treat you back. And just be the example. Well, I'm going to mute myself for a second. Any other questions?
If anyone thinks of any questions afterwards, would it be okay if I like sent them to you? And send the response to everyone if that.
Absolutely.
If
So I'm
thinks
going to
of anything.
actually give you my, I'm going to type it into the chat.
Okay.
It's Amy at Amy Morgan Wellness. And honestly, feel free to send me an email. If I can help, I will happily help. If I have suggestions, I will send the tapping out. If that people found that helpful, no problem. Just absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Oh, Gina Marie.
What was the number one thing that helped you stay calm through the pandemic? For me, it's a great question. For me, it was, I would say two things. One was setting boundaries. So knowing that during this time, I was working. So it was keeping my kids, making sure they were, I have 2 high schoolers and 1 middle schooler. So they're old enough to show up for their classes online, right? At the time they're supposed to. But we all know they just didn't do exactly as we all wanted them to. But I set very clear boundaries. Mom's working, you're working. These are your times. And sticking to them. So sticking to boundaries and during the pandemic and sticking to boundaries in life. Like these are my yeses and these are my nos, and being really clear. No is a complete sentence. So is yes. Everything doesn't have to be a no. And it was just knowing whatever I did in that day, it was enough. Even if that day included watching Netflix all day, if that's what your body is telling you to do, you have to honor yourself and take that day, because later you're going to wind up needing 5 days to do that when you could have just taken 1 day or 1 hour and given yourself the rest that you needed. It's knowing, it's slowing down, knowing what your body needs, being able to relate to your body and boundaries. This is what I can do in a day. This is what I can't, and being able to express that appropriately. So yeah, I got a dog during the pandemic. I have 3 kids. I'm a single mom. My house was crazy, right? I had to go food shopping with like everybody else. It was crazy. And you know what? I look at it, we had the best time. I cooked huge dinners every night, and we had a lot of family time. So I kind of loved it, which sounds a little crazy, but I really did. I got my kids all to myself all the time. And now I'm really happy they're not home all the time. Probably like the rest of you. Is there anything else? Thank you, Gina. Thank you for bringing me in on this too. Caitlin, is there anything else?
I think we can wrap up. If anyone does think of anything, you can either email me and I can forward it to you. Absolutely. Or they can contact you directly.
Absolutely. I'll totally get back to them.
Thank you so much for your time. It was so helpful.
Good. I hope it was.
Yeah.
And slow down with the Vision 5. I would love everyone really put it away for a few days and come back to it and say, are these the things I really want? And if they are, chunk them down into small things. What's your number one? You listed your top 3 outcomes. So chunk them down. How can you do step 1? That's it. That's all you have to do is that step 1.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you everyone for attending. Please remember to fill out the survey. If you have any questions, you can contact me or Darlene or Julia. We can get the questions to the right people. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we go? No? All right. Well, have a great day and thank you for coming, and I hope this helped you.